Anyone up for a little bouncing? Hello, I'm Tigger.
Hi, my name is June Falkenstein, and I directed and wrote the screenplay for the Tigger Movie.
I'm Cheryl Abood. I was the producer on the Tigger Movie.
I'm Richard Sherman. My brother Robert and I wrote the songs for the Tigger Movie.
My name's Jeff Johnson, and I was a supervising animator on the Tigger Movie.
I'm Toby Bluth, and I was the art director on the Tigger Movie.
Say, you want to go bouncing with me? On account of bouncing, what Tiggers do the best.
Well, I remember when I first started working on the original Poos, I remember one day we were asked to read a book. Walt Disney himself called us into his office back in the early 60s, and he said, you know, A.A. Milne, he said, he wrote a series of wonderful books that everybody in England adores. Read them. You tell me what you think. So we read these books, and it was a very enchanting experience.
Well, in thinking about the history of the character, you know, Milne wrote these stories for his son and about his son's stuffed animals.
Christopher Robin had these wonderful stuffed animals that he played with. That was the start of it. And we started falling in love with these characters, and so we wrote the first songs for Winnie the Pooh, and I remember we thought it was going to be a feature film at the time. It was not going to be a featurette. And we had a lot of storyboards, and we had Walt come in to hear this presentation, and we were all keyed up to do it. And the story guys were pointing to the storyboards and telling what happened, and I sing a song, and then we'd go and tell more. And Walt was listening. He seemed to be enjoying himself very much in his kind of quiet way. But at a certain point, we were way deep into it. And he says, now what we're going to do is we're going to platform this piece. We're going to do a series of good, solid featurettes. He said, we're going to show the American public what a wonderful character and what a wonderful series of characters this is. They're going to fall in love with it. They're going to just eat it up. And he was right. God bless him. I mean, he knew. So I want to give a lot of credit to Walt Disney because he really set those characters. The animators were brilliant. They were geniuses, but they worked under a genius. I remember vividly the very first time that we started working on something for Tigger. He's so proud of himself that he's the only one. And we said, that's great. He's the only one. That's going to be our line. The most wonderful thing about Tigger's is I'm the only one. Wow. We had that, and then we started playing with this bouncy little song.
The wonderful thing about Tiggers is Tiggers are wonderful things. Their tops are made out of rubber, their bottoms are made out of springs. They're bouncy, trouncy, flouncy, pouncy, fun, 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 fun. But the most wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one. I'm the only one.
That was the opening of our movie, an homage to what you initially created, but also just to bring the audience back into Tigger and reintroducing him.
The first films, you only heard the first 16 bars or so of the song. It had a really nice songy quality to it.
That's right, and I remember thinking, is there more to the song?
There's
You
more.
said yes.
Yes, there's
I said,
more.
let's use it all.
Yes. Tiggers are wonderful fellas. Tiggers are awfully sweet. Everyone else is jealous, and that's why I repeat it. Repeat.
That's right, and I thought that was terrific that we got to be the first one to
do it.
to use the entire Tigger
The
song.
whole song.
But the most wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one.
Well, the things we love from the original, which we introduced into our story, which you never get tired of, is Tigger coming in and knocking over Pooh and standing on him. It never gets old that Eeyore's house gets completely destroyed over and over and over again.
Yeah, we had, you know, Tigger not liking honey, and
What do these Pooh Bears like about this?
but we also, you know, we had to come up with some new things as well for the movie. Like, nobody had ever seen the inside of Kanga and Rue's house before.
And that was a joy. It's really great to be able to get inside of the homes, to see the environments. And you have to think through what those environments would be, what they would own.
Well, and as a background designer, also you're creating an invisible history for each character in their in depicting their environment. It shows so much about the character.
I love the way you designed Tigger's house. It was almost like a stage there where that stuff was playing out.
His house is a stage.
Yeah.
We definitely believed he lived there.
The animation process was, in animation terms, it's taking the boards and then creating a layout, a proper layout, a blueprint of the scene. So it's basically hitting all the key poses in a scene.
What? Moving that old thing? Not a problem. All you need is a little bouncing.
Then sending it over for principal animation to be filled in and fleshed out.
Some of our process really worked in terms of the storyboarding and then dropping in test animation just for style. That's what was translated in the final film.
And we tried to make the line work for the characters match the backgrounds as well, and we tried to keep, there's sort of a rougher line quality that we tried to keep in place. As we tried to, you know, have it look like the pen and ink drawings a little bit.
Those original shepherd drawings. There's a very organic quality to them. The fill lines that would establish Tigger's stripes, for example, there was a neat trapping, but then those lines would wobble. They would boil, and it created a very organic, vibrant feel.
You mean you fellas are my family?
I think where we were lucky is that everyone that touched this, literally every single person that touched this really cared about it. And it's nice to be able to tell stories that are thematic and sort of, in a way, modernizing the theme about what your family is. And a family is, especially in today's society, is what you make it.
Family doesn't have to be just the people that look like you. The family are the people that care about you and love you, no matter who those people are.
See, that makes us all family.
Yes,
That's right. It's our whole family.
These are my fellow Tiggers.
Look this way, everybody. Closer. Smile.